It's another what is Dana doing in retirement video. I should make a whole series of these videos. Put them on YouTube, monetize them, retire in comfort instead of in poverty. So, I'm at a cemetery. So, retirement and cemetery probably shouldn't be talked about in the same sentence. But, anywho, so right there is where my great grandfather's buried. So my grandpa's father, so my dad's grandfather, Edward Fellows, is buried there, and my great grandmother Sarah Elizabeth Ward, and then Edward, and most likely it's possible somebody's buried here, but I don't know. But their 14-year-old son died. He's buried here. So I'll tell you a story. About 10, 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I stopped by here. And the round part, this headstone was broke off and was laying way over there somewhere. And the base here, this part, was like half buried and covered with dirt. And the guy who took care of the cemetery lives down there about 2 miles. He was like 80 years old at the time. I went down and talked to him. At first I was kind of like mad. I was like, why don't people take care of this stuff? Like, why are they letting this happen? Blah, blah, blah. And then I talked to the old guy and come to find out, like, he was the guy who was trying to take care of it. And, like, no money in the cemetery fund. And he's 80 years old. He's down here trying to fix things. And he actually had a broken wrist at the time because him and another guy was trying to fix the headstone and it fell over and it smashed his hand and broke his wrist. So I felt bad. And so I was telling him about this. And I said, it would be easy to fix. You just got to pour a little concrete pad and mount that back on top and set this on top, maybe with some a little bit of liquid nails or something so it doesn't fall off. And I told him, I said, I would do it if I had permission, and he gave me permission. And then he kind of gave me permission to do whatever I wanted. So there I was. So anyhow, these two, so they call these footstones. Like, that's a headstone, this is a footstone. And so these footstones were like sinking that concrete base there. I put those in about 10 years ago. This stone was completely almost buried, just the corner of it. You can see where it's like all dark here. That was pretty much all buried. And I dug all that up. It took me everything I had to get that out of there. That's quite heavy. And so I had these two. I dug them out, and then I poured the concrete pads, and then set them back on top. I had to call Jody and Bryce to come help me get these back on top of here. And it was quite the chore, but that one was pretty easy. So I just got done going to the old timer down there. He's still alive. He's in his 90s now, but he's no longer in charge of the cemetery, or doesn't do it anymore. But the Mount Pleasant Township is in charge of the cemetery now. So I just got done in a meeting. I went out and talked to him, and I wanted to renew my permission to come in here and do stuff as I have time, whatever. So anyhow, great grandmother Elizabeth Ward, Henry Ward would be my great grandfather. So Edward's buried there. So Edward's married to Elizabeth. Elizabeth's mom and dad are buried here. So if you look at this headstone, it's starting to lean pretty good. So I'm gonna, I got a breaking bar. I'm gonna dig around here a little bit. I probably won't do this for a while to give my shoulder some time to heal. I'll probably get a helper. And I'm going to pry that up and then pack gravel underneath there and level that up. I don't know if you can tell from the camera or not, but it's pretty on level. And Peter Ward, that would be Elizabeth's brother. And so I think several children are buried here, like adult children. And so, like I said, Elizabeth's buried over there, and then her brothers and family members are buried here. And I just was doing some genealogy research on them. But this one's leaning pretty good too. If you tell by the two of them, they're leaning. And so not only are they leaning, because it's on a hill, this hill is slowly moving. In fact, we're going to walk over there, so I'm going to pause this for a minute. I'll get this playing again. So here is a little headstone that's tipped over. So this is one of the first ones I'm going to try to fix. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little concrete base for it. You put a little keyway, a little slot, and this will sit down inside the slot. And then you use some like weak mortar mix. And then when it gets bumped, the mortar joint will hopefully give, and that will fall off and not break. But I need to bring like a metal rod and poke around. There might be a base in there somewhere, but I'm going to fix that. You see these other ones are leaning. So, see, all these are leaning. So I don't want to cause more damage. So this one looks like it's broke, maybe. So so this here might have been broke, it might have been here. So I'm going to try to see if there's the lettering on here. And looks like it's on the other side. So it looks like this here might have been broke off from here. So I don't know what I'll do for that one. And what you don't want to do, it looks like they took this one, like embedded it into concrete. You kind of don't want to do that. And this one, solid. This one here is like kind of knocked off the base. So I'll probably try to slide that one back over on the base a little bit. Some of this stuff looks like it's hard to do, but you take a metal breaking bar. Like here's another one that's leaning pretty bad. So something like this, I would definitely get a helper. And what I'd probably do is take a strap and go around, wrap it around that tree. Not to pull it over, but just to hold it in place. And take a breaking bar and then put a 4x4 across the bottom, then pry it up, and then pack gravel there and level that up before, at some point it's going to tip over. And once it tips over, then you got to get some type of machining here to tip it back up. So let's go look at this one here. So I think what they did, they fixed these. So they might have, I can't tell if they, so it looks like they put concrete around that. So you don't really want to do that. You want to have a keyway, and you want to set it in there, and then pack mortar around there. So when it breaks again, the mortar will break, and not like, otherwise this is going to snap off, because that will be softer than the concrete probably. I could be wrong. That looks like a piece of sandstone actually down there, not concrete. Let's keep walking. You see, then there's all these that are like buried. So I'd like to kind of dig these up and see if I can fix them if I can. And then sadly, there's headstones that are totally somewhere, and like nobody knows where that one probably is supposed to be. There's one over there behind that tree, or behind that headstone by that tree. There's another one over here. See, hard telling where these are supposed to be. like this one down here. This looks like something that's broke off. So one thing I need to do is just kind of dig around and see what's going on. Let's pause this for a minute. There's another one that's tipped over and down in there. So somebody fixed this one, kind of. I suppose it's... Sometimes people fix things and they don't quite fix them the way you're supposed to. But they do their best effort to try to fix things, and I guess you can't really complain about it. They're at least trying to do something. So these are some newer graves over here. When I say newer, I doubt there's more than one burial per year here nowadays. Like here's one for 2013. So my great uncle and his wife are buried here. So there's Roscoe and his wife Cora. Cora died in 97. Roscoe in 76. And there's a base way down there. There's a base where that's sitting on, and it's sunk down that far. So I think what I'd like to do is dig these up, bring it so the concrete's back up to level, and then line them up and pack gravel underneath there and try to get those straightened up. And this one down here, I think is my dad's cousin. Yeah, so Doris Denning, that's be my dad's cousin. So it looks like, you see, it looks like the people mowing banged into this with the mower, knocked it out of whack. So this one pretty straight. And then Roscoe and Cora, it'd be nice to get those moved back over and get them lined back up again. So I'd like to kind of take and dig around there a little bit, maybe where that's going down. So anyhow, what's going on? This hill is moving. And supposedly, a long time ago, like, I'm talking like 120 years ago, like late in late 1800s or whatever, passerby people would die. They didn't have any money, and they just come and they bury them. Maybe in a pine box or whatever. So as this hill's been moving, washing away, there's been a few times where they've actually found bones in here, apparently, where the ground has eroded. And then, some bones have been exposed. So, I don't know who these Brockmans are. They haven't been here that long. So, somehow these were supposed to be in line. At one point, you can't really tell. So these are from the 40s and the 50s. Like these are kind of lined up, but then down there they're not lined up, so I don't know if it's... Really don't know what's going on there. So up here is where great-great-grandfather Simon Fellows and Elizabeth Dale are buried there. Albert buried there. After the Civil War came back, kind of messed up. this had paint in there, and the paint's all wore out. I actually saw what they did. You clean this, and you put molasses on a paint roller, and you roll the molasses on very gently, and the molasses doesn't get down in all the grooves. And then you spray paint it black, and then you let it dry, and then you wash off the molasses, and of course the paint's on the molasses. It comes off, but the paint stays. So anyhow, I put this headstone in about 10 years ago. I had permission to do it. I poured this base and sat that on there, and there you have it. And it's actually has sunk down probably a good inch or so. So what I might do is bring my edger and the kind of edge around the outside of this, because the grass is kind of growing up over top of that. This tombstone was like almost like tipped over completely. I dug all that up and then packed gravel down, set it back straight, and it has stayed. Looks like maybe leaning back a little bit, but not too bad. So anyhow, the reason I wanted to walk over there is to tell you about the bones being exposed over here. So here's one that looks like it's I don't know. Not sure how you could fix that one. So there's part of one here. That's what I'm going to do. Got a lot of projects at home, but as I get caught up in my projects at home, I'm going to come over here, and there's a bird on this one. It's like I kind of wonder if this is how, it's like an unusual setup like this. See this one here, I can move it. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that or not. There's no record like what's supposed to be where. I got cleaner. This would be a good one to try to clean. Spray the cleaner in here, and take a spray with water. See if I can see what it says. See if that one's related to that one. I'm almost tempted to take that one, make a little base for it with a keyway, and perhaps put it beside this one here, just so it doesn't get knocked over. I kind of don't like doing that, but I think my intentions are good. Like this one here, looks like it's I got a lot of little things to do. Like I said, the first one I might mess with is this one. This tablet up here that's laying sideways. And like this one here, I'll dig around there and then pry it up, bring it up above the ground. Same with this one, dig around. That might be a candidate to dig up and then pour a concrete pad and then set it back on top of there. Looks like there's a tree there at one time. Yeah, so this might be the first one I work on. Okay, so that's what retirement update. You could just this could be my hobby till I die. So here's a bunch. So it's kind of sad because you have no idea where these probably were at one time. These have been just here so long that they've sunk down. Another one. Like that one that has a base on it. Or like this one here. Crooked, that'd be easy to straighten out. That one over there. This might be one to feel solid. But that one there would be easy to straighten out. See, they like this is what you're not supposed to do. They put that down the concrete. So the only thing that can break on this is just it would snap off at the bottom there. Looks like they did the same thing to this one. Probably good intentions, but that's not the way you do it. When I was putting my great uncle, when I was digging that one up, I had a big pile of dirt. I had a tarp, I had a wheelbarrow, I had all kinds of stuff going on. A deputy sheriff pulled in down here and got out. I could see he was on his phone. He was sitting there like watching me. And don't hit my truck, Mr. Truck Driver. I was watching him, and he was on the phone for a while, and then he was there for like half an hour, and then he left. I assumed he was gonna come down and talk to me. Never did. There's some flowers. Very seldom do you see flowers here. It looks like there's like a vase. I don't know who these flowers have been here for a while. There. I don't know if the flowers are for this grave or not, but anyhow. So here's another one that it's a little bit out of whack. So that could be like raised up on this side and moved over. This is one that could be fixed. So it's really, this is like really leaning. The base is really leaning. So that'd be an easy one to fix. I could fix this one in about 15 minutes. I'd have like a 5-gallon bucket of gravel. Dig around there, pry it up, pack gravel on it, get it level, bring it up, and just straighten it out. You don't want to put concrete under there. You just want to put gravel. In 20, 30 years, if somebody goes to fix it again, they just do the same thing. You start putting concrete under there, and then you got a bigger mess. Same thing here. Looks like maybe a lawnmower hit this and knocked it off. And these ones here are pretty messed up. Really out of whack. This would probably be like a 2-person job. Kind of like, maybe not. Basically, you dig around there and then you pack gravel. You take a breaking bar. Then you use a 2x4 and put the breaking bar down. You use it just to slide it around, get it where you need to get it. And then level it out. Pack gravel around there, put the dirt back there. Get them lined up. Get a string. Put a string down through here. Just line them all up nice. Alright, so this is been going on too long. Been talking way too long. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate ya. So down here you can see that That one down there, that's my ward relatives. You can tell from down here they're really leaning. So I'm going to get those two straightened out. So now I have permission, so I can do what I want. The other thing I might do is actually order a new headstone for my great-great-uncle down there. And I think I can have it sent to the township. And then they won't send it to me, but they'll send it to the township. And then this one here, 2022. This is not a very old one. And then I can have a new headstone like that for him. They'll send it to me for free. But they won't send it to me. They got to send it to like a monument company or somebody. But I think they might send it to the township, and then I can get it from them and then come and install it. And they've actually, the township actually offered, if I need money to buy material or actually need any help, if there's a day I need help, they said they'd come over and help me. Really don't know if I need help. I suppose I start messing with some of these big tombstones and trying to straighten them out. That could be a problem. I can straighten these ones out. There's all kinds of stuff to do. Alright, that's it.